Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am, of course, General Lotz. And today is Friday, and so that means more live streaming goodness. And today we're going to continue on with Wolfenstein, The Old Blood. And I'm, of course, joined by Rain, and theoretically, oh, wait, no, go ahead and do your intro.
Don't really have much of an intro. It's just me, Rainick.
Yay. And Raid should theoretically be here at some point in the future as well. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, old BJ needs to get him a shirt at some point. He's got to be pretty cold. So, yeah, Wolfenstein Young Blood is coming out, I believe, in July. And I got to say, it looks like it's going to be interesting. I don't think they're going to SJWize it too badly. But if you notice, his daughters are really ugly. I'm just going to point that out. They're kind of ugly.
Which makes no sense because look at their parents.
Yeah, it's rather funny actually. I mean, it's like they got these square-shaped heads and things of that nature. And text orb work is, well, it's work. It's all day, every day, 10 hours a day. But we survive, or I survive it, I should say. But yeah. I don't know. You know how SJWs hate, attractive people for whatever reason? Maybe because they're all blue-haired land whales. But anyway, that aside.
I don't know about land whales, but greasy, unwashed, nasty hand beasts, maybe.
I don't know, some of them look like they are, shall we say, a bit round, not in a good way.
I know, but I just prefer to be a little bit more cynical and nasty about it.
Oh. Well, that works, I suppose. Stop shooting at me! All of you! I just want to kill you all. I mean, correct you all. Ooh, he got corrected. But anyway, correction aside. Yes, well, okay, maybe I don't really enjoy it, but it's not bad. And surprisingly enough, yeah, I have actually. Cool guy, actually. I don't want to dox him and give his name. We'll just call him, the Dude. The Dude is quite cool. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I saw his name on... He's actually a, game developer, actually. Did a few things on the Wii U, of all things.
Very cool.
One of the games he did was Space Hunters. Add the S at the end to actually get it, because that's what he used to differentiate it. It's basically just a modern-day incarnation of the original Metroid. Looks good. I'd play it if I had a Wii U, but oh well.
Well, the emulators are coming along soon enough.
Yeah, you probably want me to pay for it. Instead of just acquiring it other ways.
Well, if there's a legal way to do so, do so.
Yeah.
But, there isn't. Yes.
He also did a comedy game, poking fun at Blizzard's insanity.
Well, these days, that's a lot to poke at.
Actually, I don't. Did I say specifically the Diablo insanity?
No, just Blizzards.
Okay, there we go. Diablo and that idiocy with the, don't you guys have phones? Yeah, well, that thing.
Not their brightest moment.
No, that's the problem with selling out to the Chi-Coms. And, I'm gonna be getting me a Holosun later this year. Shit, goddammit. I blame you, Corey, for getting me killed for looking at the Holosun. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting one for the AR later this year. Along with a few other things. Let's see. I never actually gold medaled anything in Rogue Squadron. That game is much too hard. Buildable Phase 3 Dark Trooper action figure?
No, it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is it Kaido or who? Because normally Hasbro doesn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that does not sound like anything I've heard of. Now, I do have a Dark Trooper figure from some line from around the mid-2000s. and I'm quite fond of it, actually. All of the gun looks really weird. It's got like 3 barrels and this kind of strange-looking curved stock. Oh yeah, I went to the range today after work, and I did decently enough. They did have something kind of interesting there, though. I had to look at it. They had a #1 Mark III, but they wanted like almost $1,000 for it, and I'm like, has the price on those things really gone up that high?
It depends on the condition. Like, Mark III's... it's down to really the prominence and the condition. If it was, you know, early war and it's in good condition, yeah, I could see it costing that much.
Yeah, it was pretty good condition, and it was a World War I model. And it had, I didn't see it, but a matching bayonet that might have... Did they serialize the bayonets? I don't remember.
That's something I'm going to check on. I don't know if they did or not. I know the Swiss almost always serialize their bayonets. I don't know about that, though.
Huh. Could have been early war with one that was serialized. He ranked up to major for getting silver in the Imperial factory level with the snowspeeders. Oh god, that level. Huh. I did not know Hasbro did that, but then again, I'm not a particularly big fan of Hasbro these days.
I got no problem with the company. I've got a problem with what Disney is letting them do.
Like, their toys are such low quality, though.
And that's why. It's because Disney is basically saying, just pump it out. That's what the contract states. It's just pump it out. Get it out on the shelves. We don't care about the quality.
That's just horrible. I was thinking about... God damn it! I was thinking about potentially getting one of those Star Destroyers that Lego's coming out with, but $500 on a Lego is a bit ridiculous even for me. I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of cool, and I've always wanted one, but I don't even know where I'd put such a thing. Honestly,
see, the only Lego project I'm looking at that's anywhere near that expensive is Paraphractics Lego Commodore 64 case.
Oh, what would that be, like $500? Surely that would be...
It's because the parts have to be ordered. It's not a complete kit. You have to buy it from, you know, Brick Builder. And...
I'm gonna blame me getting killed all the time on just being tired. Black Series, I actually have a few figures from that line. I think I had them in the Battlefront. Oh, I'm gonna die. No, I didn't. Somehow I was able to shoot him in the face enough times to get him to blow up. And then I got blown up by a regular foot soldier. I'm gonna blame the chat and being tired. I am actually thinking about eventually building me a RetroPie just to kind of do it. Because
they're fun.
I mean, I just don't have any need for it, but at the same time, I kind of like that you can get some Lego kit, well, some knockoff Lego kits, where you can build it into sort of a miniature SNES or NES. And honestly, that's one of the whole reasons why I want to do it, because I would like to have that and actually have it be a working console.
Well, the ones that are on the kits that are on sale on Amazon, I'm actually thinking about buying 2 of them simply because I can, with some careful rewiring, I can route the SD card to the front of the case, right where the lift-up lid is, and route the cabling to the rear.
That'd actually make it look a little more clean. These stores Lego is the pricey 20th anniversary Slave 1. I have not actually seen that. I do have the... Although, I wonder, since my brain is tired, is that the Slave one that's like the special, the giant one? Because I have that one. Like the collector's grade edition thing. That big one. I just can't remember what it's called at the moment. If that's the 20th anniversary, then I might have that. I just not remember it. Black Series Darth Revan and Jaina, although... I wonder if they got Jaina's face right. The big problem with a lot of figures is they never get chick faces right. They always make them look terrible.
When they come up with a Darth Revan, because that's news to me.
Yeah, I had no clue. Speaking of Darth Revan, that was something I was thinking about the other day. Well, actually, I was thinking about it mainly due to seeing a meme on Facebook. The meme was like, Revan comes back like, sorry for killing everyone! I'm not going to do it again, I swear!
Proceeds to kill everyone.
So, yeah, it's like... If well, that's a big spoiler for KOTOR. So if you haven't played KOTOR yet, turn the video off now. But okay, like at the end of KOTOR,
These are not the spoilers you're looking for.
Exactly. You know, it's like at the end of KOTOR, if you're still revving, then you kind of get off scot-free. You know, it's like you've killed like billions of people at this point. I mean, and he turned back to the light. It's okay now. It's like, no, at least it shouldn't be. If like you have your mind fully erased and you fully become the new guy, then that's fine. I mean, it's just a new person in Revan's old meat bag, but still, it's like, you kind of just let him go with that. That's one of the big problems with Star Wars, is that, like, if like the various Darksiders stop being evil, then it's like, well, they're good again, no problem now.
Sort of, but it's one of those things that you got to give some leeway to it. I mean, Darth Vader.
I know.
To be absolutely honest, he killed a lot of people.
Yeah, why does he get off? And what's really cool is in Truth of Bakura, Leia just straight up tells him to go fuck himself. Well, he doesn't exactly say that, but still, it's close enough.
The sentiment is the same.
Yeah, and it's like... And, like, she's made out to be kind of like the bad guy for doing that. It's like, well, you know, he did torture his daughter. And we don't know how bad it got, either.
Only the droid knows that.
Yeah. So, he kind of... Vader kind of gets off a little easily, you know? Unless, of course, this is something I've always wanted to bring up when it comes to Star Wars. Unless the dark side is exactly like Chaos. If somebody will just straight up say, yeah, it's like Chaos, I'll go with it, but...
I don't know exactly like Chaos, but it does have some Chaos intonations. I mean, the D20 rule set, it's real easy to fall. Not so easy as, you know, whoops, I accidentally an entire galaxy, but...
I guess my problem is, like, okay, you've got Anakin and Darth Vader. So is, like, Darth Vader like some sort of space demon that possesses him? Or is it just, you know, Anakin finally going nuts?
I don't know if you want me to fully cover this, because that is something we want to cover in a future video.
Well, like,
but I will say this, it is not some force demon. It is the darkest aspects of an individual.
Okay, well then there you go. I mean, it's still his fault. If it was like a space demon, then fine.
Well, yes and no. Here's the thing with the dark side. It's very easy to fall, and once your fall starts, it is very, very, very hard to stop.
But you don't really get why, though. Does that have any sort of basis in human psychology?
Actually, it kind of does. The trend towards sociopathy. Once you start, you know, seeing human life as not being worth much, it becomes a hell of a lot harder as you go on to start seeing the value in human life.
Okay, then I guess it's not as much bullshit as it could be then. And here is a question for a future future stream on one of my fanfics from back in the day. How many dark side points would I get for threatening to blow up a planet? I wouldn't actually do it. Like, how many dark
None.
Side...
If you threaten to blow it up and it's a bluff, and you know it's a bluff, and you're willing to carry the act out up to the point but not do it, none.
Sweet. Because in one of my in the initial draft of a Star Wars fanfic I did from 2008, that's why I don't have to feel too bad, because I was 18 when I did it. And it's pretty bad. It's not as bad as Soy Wars. That's the thing I can be proud of. It's not nearly as bad as Soy Wars. Or Twilight, or 50 Shades of Grey. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go, because I wasn't paying attention.
And tech, no, it's not really nihilism, it's more ennui. Nihilism, the best case I can put forth for nihilism is that you can believe in no divine creator, you can believe in, you know, no haven or anything like that, but one can still look forward to the simple pleasures in life, such as a nice lunch. Ennui, on the other hand, is nihilism without any positivity whatsoever. It's basically, everything sucks, we all die, screw it, I'll speed up the process.
And would I ever own a speeder bike or a swoop bike? I'd rather have the speeder just because that's a little less dangerous. A little. Just a tiny bit. It's less likely you're just going to immediately crash into a wall and explode.
Swoop bikes are pretty darn dangerous. That being said, I think the most dangerous creation had to be Darth Maul's bike.
Really? It didn't seem like it was that bad.
There's no balancing ballast to it. You have to have the force to ride that thing.
Mm. And, you know, as much as I hate the prequels, I know what the name of it is. Bloodfin. Why do I know that?
Because it sticks in one's mind.
It's just wrong. Okay, now wait a minute. Okay, what did she say? I wasn't paying any attention. Alright, so I knock on the door and she says, what?
Drink your Ovaltine?
Maybe. Open the gate to the side of the building. Key underneath a large rock. Okay, that's why I didn't see. Wow, really? Ovaltine. Now that's something I haven't heard in years. I never even had any of that stuff though.
Yeah, it's basically like chocolate milk.
Yeah. And hello, Nega Scott. I get the reference because I actually saw that about 10 years ago. Ugh. Ugh. It's just wrong. But yeah, the fanfic. I have to actually rewrite the whole thing from memory because I lost it on the. I had an external 3 terabyte Seagate and it died and it had it on there. The only copy, no less. And man, was it bad. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It was just the most cheesy thing you could ever imagine. Like, it was just like a mile thick of cheese.
No. Now one can correct it and make it a little bit less brie.
Well, see, I already did correct it around 2015 before the hard drive died. And made it way less... it's still an ego trip, but it wasn't like... Let me put it this way. By the end of that fanfic, I basically become the God Emperor of Mankind. Okay, it was the biggest ego trip ever, and at the end of it, more or less God Emperor of Mankind. Along with literally creating Horace Lupercal, although that wasn't the name I used. I'm not even joking. That was something that I wrote. And, damn. Fanfics, ever seen the 90s fanfic troops? I thought that was a 2000s thing. I have seen it.
The folder you're searching for is located in Helga's room at the Wolfsburg Tavern. Now, apparently...
The animations in this aren't bad, but my biggest problem with most modern games is the faces somehow look worse than they did from back in the day. It's like they're so close to human, and yet they still lack a certain humanity.
Yeah, it's called Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, there you go. The tavern staff don't carry firearms, do they? Hey, this reminds me of a mission from a Medal of Honor game.
Yeah, got our answer to when does BJ find a shirt?
Yeah, he's had no shirt this entire time. It's just been this shirtless guy killing everything. I like how you can just hold all those guns. He's gotta weigh like 50 pounds. Captain Whammon. Oh dear.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nega Scott.
Oh yeah, the Avengers Endgame I think is sometime this month or next month. I don't remember.
It's going to be hosed. I've already seen the spoiler shots, and my worst fears on it are pretty much brought to bear.
Oh dear. Well, I was gonna go see it anyway. Just like that Rise of Skywalker. Like, Rise of Skywalker. Okay, wait a minute. Isn't he dead? Aren't all of them dead now?
Yep.
So how?
Which is even more insulting if you actually read the episode 1 novel.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not. Whatever. Star Wars. Everything is dead to me. Oh yeah. Speaking of something dead to me, I'm sure that none of you except for Rain have actually even heard of these guys. Go Trek and Felix was a classic novel series set in the Warhammer Fantasy universe that blew up. And, you know, it blew up around 2015, I want to say? Or was it 14? Stab him! Stab him! Cut him up! So their robot dogs I like how they got a robot dog that can literally be taken down by a knife. But, yeah, so it died around 2014 or 15. So I got an audiobook about a week ago, called Realm Slayer. It's supposed to be a new entry in the series. Well, spoiler alert, Felix is dead, along with the entire Warhammer world. But Gotrek is still alive, apparently. And in this the audiobook is bad. Okay, I did not know how bad Age of Sigmar was, but oh my god, it's bad. It is horrible. They got, like, fire dwarfs that live in a fucking volcano. And, you know, the Dark Elves aren't evil anymore. And you got
Most of the elves are now freaking pseudo-mermaids.
Yeah, there was that. And then there were other issues with, like, Stormcast Eternals.
Marines.
Pretty much. And it's like, oh, Gotrek shows up in this, voiced by Brian Blessed. One of the few good things about it.
That's at least one redeeming feature.
And he's the best part. He basically, like, just shits all over Age of Sigmar, which makes me very happy because, man, Age of Sigmar is shit. But that being said, the whole novel is pretty bad. I mean, and one moment, we got an epic moment. Now I thought, doesn't she die like way earlier in Return to Castle Wolfenstein?
Halten Sie doch die Schnauze, Sie Jammerlappen. Wie bitte? Nach allem, was ich für General Strasse in Erfahrung gebracht
Von
habe,
Bülow?
sollte er mir die Stiefel
Oh yeah.
küssen.
Yeah, she got blown up by the thing.
Zu früh, ich sterbe vor Durst.
Ralph
Snap.
Orbisina. Sorry, I have to make the joke.
Oh,
Warten Sie tatsächlich von
I'm
mir,
too
dass
tired.
ich Ihre Anwesenheit nicht an
I am too.
trage?
The quest for more money. I thought that was episode 7.
Mein lieber Ober, Sie werden
What a brain, what a...
How's it
Hey.
going?
Nehmen Sie den Wein hier auf den
Okay.
Yeah, that bad, huh?
I think my GPU might be going to GPU afterlife.
Ober. Keine Angst, ich weiß.
Oof.
Damn.
It's getting hot, hot, hot.
Well, that sucks.
I would put the wine on the table, John.
Okay.
She's looking kind of mean at you.
Lassen Sie mich doch erstmal
Yeah.
den Wein genießen.
She can handle it. Really, one piece of sausage? That's not going to give you too much energy.
Warten Sie.
Maybe it's full of,
Setzen Sie sich.
This happens in every Wolfenstein game where it's like, will he get found out or will he not?
France.
do 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 do.
France.
Mein
France.
Cousin ist auch so.
Let's see. What's the other cool bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back? IG-88.
Als Kind
Space
hatte ich
Terminator.
meine eigenen Karten.
Did you try that Wolfenstein VR thing yet?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing. I haven't
It's
had...
like the, it's the original game recreated in the Unreal Engine.
Okay.
Ich auf einmal Folie.
I just haven't had enough time to
Ich
do
war
anything.
Monate ans Bett gefesselt, hatte schreckliche Träume.
And everybody in the Wolfenstein universe is really
Dann starb
ugly.
mein Bein ab. Hab ich deswegen
Like,
geheult?
she wasn't that ugly in the first in Return to
Ja,
Castle.
normal.
Von Bulow? She wasn't pretty either.
Aber auch
Oh,
She was kind of
that's-
zoftig.
So I said she wasn't that ugly. She's still ugly.
ich
Lotz requires a beautification mod.
Exactly. No, I wouldn't want to
haben Sie Ihr
have to
Schicksal
harm a
in
hot
der
chick.
Hand? Friends.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
As the battle for Castle Itter. That needs to be a game, or at least a mod for COD 2. I was not paying attention.
Probieren Sie.
Oh, drink the wine or something. Okay.
People rarely talk about Spear of Destiny.
Well,
I don't know why.
I never played it, I don't think.
Sie haben einen interessanten
Eh.
Akzent.
It's not the best expansion for the original Wolfenstein 3D, but it was pretty good.
Then you fight Satan in it.
Yes. It only gets weirder from there,
Den ich je getrunken habe.
as in terms of expansions go.
Er ist sauer.
Did it come out before Doom?
I honestly have no clue. They always make BJ just
Sofort.
get tortured.
Der Keller.
Like a damn basement.
Ein Hauch von Rosine.
A hint of well, I think that a lot of the theories about if the Nat Sols won World War II would basically just be
Sowas würde ich nicht
Soviet
mal meinem
Union, but
ärgsten
with
Feind
different numbers.
vorsetzen.
Kind of cutting out
I am.
on my end.
Oh, okay, good. It's not my fault.
I don't know. Is it kind of free reign?
Because
No, but
incompetent
my connection's not the one you should judge anybody by.
Even in the future, nothing works.
Did you really think I would be impressed by your atrocious
Eh,
German?
Murphy's Law. It will always find a way.
Franz.
Sure, Destiny came out in '92.
Behalten Sie ihn im Auge. Was ist los, Eberhard?
Just shoot
So-
him.
Didn't Doom come out a year later? Of course, they're both probably in development. I don't know.
Possibly.
Unternehmen
Well,
Sie nicht.
yeah, because the Nocturnal missions came out before Spear of Destiny, and after Spear of Destiny, it's just all been third party.
Sanitary.
Nocturnal, nocturnal emissions, eh?
No, Nocturnal missions, no E.
Oh.
Oh wait, I died. 'cause
And
I
no
was
cleanup either.
Did you really think I would be impressed by
Oh,
your
my.
atrocious German? Now give me the folder, Franz.
I've never actually played Worms except for the Xbox 360 one. If you won the battle, you'd be as good as
Behalten
dead.
Sie ihn im Auge. Was ist los, Eberhard?
Eh. Let's see. Okay, I gotta pay attention to actually grab the old PO8 there. Although that looks like it took.
Unternehmen Sie nicht.
There we go. I had to mash the E button. And stab him! Go on, BJ, you can shoot better than that. It's almost as bad as me. I like how you can just take a roofing tile to the head and it just barely knocks him out. Echo the Dolphin. You know, I've played Echo the Dolphin a grand total of once, back in 1995. I think.
And yeah, the later level should scare the shit out of you. It's basically Cthulhu meets dolphins.
Really? I thought that was just a meme.
As for Worms 2, yeah, admittedly, it was a guilty pleasure. Plenty of nights spent playing that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Well, not Worms, but the Xbox 360. Allow me to get some games I'm going to be doing some stuff on next year.
Secrets are you looking for, Helga?
Okay, so what we got here, I've been rebuying some Xbox and Xbox 360 games.
Can you hear me?
Well, rebuying and buying again.
Took the folder with her.
I'm going to finally play this on stream in 2020. I'm planning all the way that far ahead because there's so many games to do. So yeah, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. I know a lot of people hate this game for some reason. I liked it a lot when it came out. I played it a lot. Sadly, I ended up losing the copy. Have no idea what happened to it. So I'm glad to have it again. There
Why
we
don't you
go.
just get the complete collection when it comes out on PC?
Because you got to get it on the 360, man. It's not the same if it's on PC. Then we got Halo 3, the original Xbox version. I have this still. I know where it is, but the disc is broken. Actually, no. I have it 3 times actually. I got this copy that's complete in box. I have a loose disc that I have no clue where it is, and my old Ultimate or not Special Edition, the one that came in the metal one.
The funny thing is, the standard edition is more rare than the special edition.
I only paid $10 for that, so I guess I got a good deal. Then we got a series that I've always wanted to play that's only on consoles. It would be nice if it was on PC, but it's not. What we got here is Army of Two. It's a basic little co-op third-person shooter kind of thing. It has split-screen co-op. Not that I'm ever going to get any use out of that, but so yeah, it looked kind of neat. And so I got
That's pretty good.
And I got Army of Two the 40th day. I got the whole collection for $15. And Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel. So I'm hoping they're good. Something different, you know. I got a few other games coming in as well. I rebought Halo 2, the Xbox version, the original edition, not the special edition. And I got that for cheap as well. That's why you got to shop around when you go on the eBays. But also got a game called Brute Force. I rented it once back in 2000 and something, and I remembered it being okay, and it looked like an interesting third-person, sci-fi third-person shooter. I just never came back to it. I think it was meant to be like a franchise, but it only got the one game. Because I remember they kind of advertised it heavily. They had that game, a novel, and a few other things. But it's pretty much fallen into obscurity these days.
Yeah, it was a bit like their treatment of the console version of Crimson Skies. It was very good, but then just left to rot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I need to buy that. That reminded me. I need to look that up later today. And Now, for those who are wondering, that's Crimson Sky's High Road to Revolution.
Revenge.
Revenge, there we go. Not Crimson Sky's the PC version, which is different.
Or the tabletop game.
Oh yeah, there was that. There's actually a novel released as well, and I have that, and it's something, alright. It's not horrible, but it's one of those things where I can't imagine the U.S. imploding after World War I and becoming this, you know, balkanized thing with the Tesla Nazis and stuff like that.
Well, it was meant to be kind of a overly romanticized era. You know, what if the Hindenburg didn't fail? What if, you know...
Kessler, come in. You read?
Yeah. I did. It was good for what it was, but god damn was it hard. At least from what I remember.
No, the PC version can be spectacularly hard until you get used to the flight controls.
Hmm. I only ever played the Xbox, so almost pronounced that Notre Dame. Yeah, Notre Dame got burnt down. I heard about that at work, actually.
Good news is, if any good news can come of this, is the treasures are okay, as are all the stained glass windows except one. They are going to repair it, and right now, as I speak, you can go to Ubisoft's website, and they're giving away Assassin's Creed Unity because of it, and because you can't explore Notre Dame in-game. But you better pick it up if you plan on picking it up, because it's this week. That's it.
Yeah, I already snagged it.
Nice. I don't really care that much about Assassin's Creed anymore. Now wait, when is Origin set? Or Unity? Which one?
Unity is set during the French Revolutionary War.
Okay. So then it's not Origin, which is what I'm thinking of.
No, this is the time of the guillotine.
Okay, I was thinking about Origin just because that's the Egyptian one, which actually interested me more than some of the others. Because it had sort of like a Stargate vibe in some instances, with the those who came before thing. So,
Personally enough, I have 3 of the Assassin's Creed games for free from Uplay.
Yeah, I have the Ezio series, and, well, also the first one, and that's after that I just didn't really care anymore. You can only enjoy so much of the same game over and over again.
This is very true. This is why, while I love first-person shooters, I've really kind of walked away from them, barring a very select few.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Now, actually, no, they got so much crap to cover. Okay, I'll cover the chat first. It's not raining out here. And Maryland, always trying to remember all the M states is never easy. I do have plans to review Battle for Naboo and Episode 1 Racer. Episode 1 Racer is going to get reviewed this year. Battle for Naboo, it's going to be Star Wars Year 2. Originally, I was going to review it this year, but I do not have time to review 2 games a month. I'm going to be doing good to get 1 game a month out, so yeah. But I am planning on reviewing that. There's going to be a Star Wars Year 2. I do not know when that is going to be, but it will be at some point. Let's see. French government really is going to repair it. Vietnam War lasts longer. I'm not really sure it could last much longer, but go on.
As for the whole making Notre Dame more inclusive, I kind of doubt that. I mean, the Catholic Church kind of has to say in that. And granted, this new Pope ain't exactly great. In fact, he's probably one of the worst we've ever had. The previous Pope was better. I mean, yes, I know it sounds like blasphemy when I calling Emperor Palpatine the better Pope.
Listen. Helga's gone. Took the folder with her.
Honestly, I know nothing about Catholicism, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Although, here's a bit of useless trivia about me. When I was a kid, I was actually baptized as a Catholic, but I never was one, so yeah.
Did it burn?
I have no idea. But yeah. If anything, I'm weird when it comes to religion. I'm more of just spiritual than anything else. But if I were to pick a religion, it would just be basic Protestant Christianity more than anything else. But even then, that's kind of pushing it.
Oh man, I thought you were a pure Satanist.
No, no. Satan is not so.
Y'all mother need Satan. Sorry, had to.
Shit. Oh god, the Vietnam War. See, that's an interesting topic to get into. I don't know if I want to because it's kind of, shall we say, political, but it's one of those things where there's a lot of different elements that go into that. And it's where you've got a wide variety of idiotic things on, well, every side as you would expect. But there might not even have been a Vietnam War. Well, okay, there might have been. But, you know,
well, had our actions after World War II been different and we actually paid attention to what was going on in China and Indochina, there would not have been a Vietnam War.
Well, there's that, and also if we hadn't tried to help out France be imperialistic with that, that's neither here nor there. Because, yeah. We need not concern ourselves with that. Ever seen Metalocalypse? Yeah, I have. Of the various Death Clock songs, I like that Murder song quite a bit, actually.
Brutal.
You should check out the movie Deathgasm. You haven't seen it?
Never even heard of it until today. And BJ
It's about a heavy metal group who accidentally bring forth, well, demons. They have to take care of them.
Oh,
I'd say it's Evil Dead mixed with heavy metal.
Evil Dead meets rock and roll. Oh,
Of course, there is a scene where they have to fend off demons using anal beads and a giant dildo as weapon.
well,
Oh
that's...
my.
I did not expect that. Also, when did this become
Neither
Zombie
was
Army?
Neither was I. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying, when did this become Zombie Army Trilogy?
When Von Bulow bit the green weenie, I don't know.
Oh my. Let's see, where was I? So yeah, one part of that fanfic did include, I don't want to spoil it, but one part of the crappy fanfic did include forming a force-using rock band with laser guitars. I'm not even joking. 18, it's still better than Ray. I can hold my head up high and say it was still better than Ray.
You were channeling your inner noise marine.
But yes, a force-using heavy metal band with laser guitars. I don't know, that doesn't sound as lame as I thought it would. Now, if you actually tried to make something with that, that would probably look pretty silly, though.
It's actually been done in Cyberpunk. There's an entire class called Rocker Boy.
Really?
Yep. And it will probably not be part of the Cyberpunk game by CD Projekt Red. Although we do have one Rocker Boy who does make a cameo appearance. That is confirmed.
Is gonna make a movie and or short where God and Satan are being treated like an old married couple. I think Spawn did that. I think Spawn did something like that.
I kind of like Sandman's take on it. Lucifer gets a little bit tired of the whole being the incarnation of evil shtick and just for a while retires and runs a bar.
Yep. It's probably the heaviest of metal, or it could be emo for all we know.
Actually, it was a blues bar he ran.
Yep. That could work. Oh, I remember this part of the game. It was hard to actually figure out where to go.
There's another movie where it turns out the way to get rid of demons is to play this metal album backwards. There's actually a backstory that like this metal album these metal band that doesn't exist anymore, they figured out like how to summon demons and get rid of them or something like that. Called The Gate.
The Gate. Oh, now I remember. Okay.
Which is a fun little movie.
It's awesome.
There's so much crap for me to cover in this live stream, though. It has nothing to do with heavy metal, but it does have to do with a game that I just thought of. It finally popped in my head. Sudoku. Shadows Die Twice. I just picked that up yesterday, actually, and it is, without a doubt, an excellent game. It is not Dark Souls, but Japanized. Rather, it's its own thing. It has some Dark Souls elements, but it's really much more of a, has a completely new combat system from Dark Souls. It has, it actually has a story and a character that can talk. Oh my god! Whatever next.
The thing about Dark Souls is it's a Japanese-made game.
Okay, then it's a weeb Japanese game because it is such a Japanese game. Well, it's set in feudal Japan, but it has like all the feudal Japan tropes of like the shogun that is taking over the country and is kidnapped, like the royal heir, like the emperor's heir, like the emperor's heir is like this magic girl, you know, crap like that. It's really quite good though. I really like the changes in the combat system. It's much more fluid, but it's very different from Dark Souls. If you try to use a Dark Souls style combat, if you use Dark Souls logic, you'll die all the time. But if you don't, you'll actually be able to do some pretty good.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's closer to like Ninja Gaiden Black in terms of approach than it is Dark Souls.
So, yeah, overall, it is a game I do recommend taking a look at some point. I could say it was worth the $60 because I'm really, really enjoying it. It does have that same issue though that a lot of these Japanese kind of things do, where like the heavier the guy or the bigger the bad guy, the bigger they get. And I don't know how many Japanese people had gigantism in feudal Japan. I'm just saying. Because a lot of these guys are like...
Yeah, it's pretty rare for a Japanese person to get over 6 foot.
Yeah, they come people that are like 8 foot with like katanas that as long as they are, so...
And I am not a big person at all, but I can tell you, compared to most Japanese people, I'm pretty big.
Well, I love it.
Tech, worst 90s game ever played. Talking quality, or are we talking weird factor?
Let's see. Okay, you gotta be entertaining because I have to make a call. Ugh, I'm popular apparently. Let's see.
Who's calling? No, who's calling you? I didn't allow it. No kidding.
Well, okay. So be entertaining. I'll still play the game though.
As in terms of weirdest 90s game, worst weird. Okay, quality. Oh, it's gonna have to go to PlayStation 1 game called Cosmic Race. That thing is horrible. That is one of the worst games I've ever played in, well over 30 years. It's bad.
Worst game.
As in terms of like worst weird game, I'm gonna have to say Mohawk and Headphone Jack to the Super Nintendo. It's not a bad game, but the visual effects are enough that it might just make you vomit. That or, let's see, Gym Power in the Third Dimension. That's the Super NES version, requires a special set of glasses, and if you don't have them, the scrolling will probably make you very, very dizzy.
I was gonna say like the obvious one would be like Superman 64.
It's pretty bad. In fact, it's freaking terrible, but I can play through and I can beat Superman 64. I can't bring myself to play through and beat Cosmic Race. It's that terrible.
Or Shaq Fu.
Shaq Fu it had okay animations, kind of naff controls. That's really what let it down. Its controls just weren't that good.
Ah, Bubsy 3D.
That would be horrible. And I'm back. Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen.
back.
Shaq Fu. I've heard that part. Wait, no, go on.
Rise of the Robots is bad because of what it represents. It basically was 3 years of advertising blitz for a total piece of crap.
Well, I never even heard of Rise of the Robots until now, so... But I'll tell you this, Shaq Fu is an interesting game in that, oh crap, yeah, I think she dies anyway.
Why do they hate us so much?
Because the brains got broke, I reckon.
The brains got broke, huh?
Did you see that, Mr. BJ?
Good on you, kid.
Honestly, I think Shaq is someone who's always intentionally embraced the cheese.
Oh yeah.
The week after Weihnachten.
But Shaq Fu, you know, taking it in a vacuum as a kid, I thought it was kind of cool. It's like Shaq goes to this like alternate world and he fights the mummies, and it's like it looks kind of cool until you actually are adult enough to understand what it is.
And I remember
Worst
that
90s FPS, Extreme Paint Brawl.
being afraid someone would catch us and take
I
me
can
away from her.
agree to that being absolutely
I made
wretched.
promises. Whatever would happen to me,
Just
I
about
would
anything
find a way
head
back
games
to
is
her.
just
Careful
awful.
by yourself.
Anything that
The
they put
monsters
out.
there.
If I do
How
not
they got the
go,
money
I
to do
might as
that.
well
Hey,
let the
Turning
monsters
Point
get
Fall of
my
Liberty
son's
was
house.
not a bad game. It was mediocre.
I will go
And they had a
out
few
with
good...
you, and you will help me.
Yeah, and there's a few good moments in it. Like there's some parkour. You got a lever action rifle. You know, I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Here.
You think that's bad? Go play anything by Activision Value, barring the original Secret Service game. That was still bad, but it was enjoyable bad.
And I have never played that, but I'm aware of it. And also, her face is messed up. Just saying. Everybody's face in this game is messed up. Okay? There's nothing but ugly people in this game. Oh wait, does that make me shallow?
Not really.
It's like... Oh, he's gonna zombify and shoot him in the head.
So sorry, Kessler. Wasn't supposed
And Shaq also can't make a free throw to save his life. But it's Shaq. He's a nice enough guy.
Drink Pepsi.
Ugh.
I was a kid. We
Kazaam
had a
was-
rooster in our basement. My father said if I'd done wrong, he'd creep out.
What's kind of funny about Shaq is, like, as a kid, Shaq seemed really cool. I watched Kazaam. I thought it was okay. I watched,
Hugh!
what was that
That was
movie
good.
called? No, wait, what?
Deal.
No. Yeah, Steel. That's the one. I thought that was pretty good. As a kid.
It was better than Kazaam.
I don't know if I'd say that.
I was not. I think too. I couldn't stand that kid actor who's also in Free Willy too. I don't know. But these days he has a bunch of tattoos and a shaved head, and mostly plays villain roles. So for him,
That's a big shift.
And snatched the goddamn folder.
Okay, I find that hilarious, though. It's like, got a bunch of tats.
I didn't even recognize him. Whoa.
Of course, I heard that, you know, Edward Furlong. You know, if it's a kid actor, they're gonna have a horrible name. Like, who names their kid Edward Furlong? I ask you. I
Just
mean,
because his name is also a porn name.
Edward Furlong.
No, as long as it isn't 4 inches long, in which case he's got a real hard time in porn.
Oh my god.
You say that, but all I can say is, having seen certain things for the past 15 years, not all. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
anyways.
it's one of those things. It's
What about Edward Furlong?
I don't know. I just like saying that guy's name because it amuses me.
Hey, this scene you just did was better than the power loader scene at Colonial Marines.
Oh god, don't remind me.
anything's better than that.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, and I can't go.
Getting
back.
rabies is better than that.
And yet I thought it was gonna be good.
We all did.
Last-
We were all lied to.
Last I heard about Edward Furlong, he's been hitting the gym, so good for him.
But I don't think I'm ever gonna go MGTOW. Just saying. The only reason I haven't shaved is I forgot to shave last Sunday, and getting off of work, I am much too tired to spend my time shaving. So yeah.
I don't feel too bad. Right now, I'm practically rocking a ZZ Top beard. I need a shave bad.
I came close to that once, mainly due to laziness. And for all the dudes in the audience, which I mean all of you, the Harry's razor from Walmart is actually pretty good. It's worth the $10. And
Once you got the razor holder, you can actually get the razors direct from Harry's via mail order at a cheaper price.
Oh. I was just lazy and bought it from Walmart.
It's been a while since I've used mine, but their shave balm used to be really good.
God, somebody mentioned Sleepaway Camp in the chat.
Sleepaway. Is that the one where the guy who thinks he's the transgender killer?
Maybe.
Okay.
Someday we may have to. Just so I can make you watch it.
Oh god, it sounds like the shittiest of all.
No, there's far worse. If you know what you're watching going into it, you get to make fun of it and enjoy it. If you don't, then you're in for a shock.
I would say it's actually pretty good. It does have a weird, dream-like, kind of weird quality to it, but it works.
See though, the only time people say the term dreamlike is when they're trying to justify shittiness. You know?
Well, or a Cronenberg film.
Yeah. Of course, David Cronenberg did make a real movie. Well, not a real movie, but a movie that wasn't weird.
Plus, James Earl Jones' dad's in it, so
Oh yeah, the dad of James Earl Jones. I mean, because as we all know, he played Darth Plagueis.
He was the only one that's not really a per in that movie.
Now, for those who don't actually get the reference, technically Darth Plagueis is Anakin's father. It's a spoiler, but whatever.
Well, yes and no, because there's multiple ways to take it. Because if you're going by the movies and going by the books, there actually is. There's kind of different ways to take it.
Yeah.
Because remember, at that point, they were really looking down two different authors. You're looking from Lucas's point of view, and you're looking from. Yeah, it's something we'll cover when we get there.
Indeed. Lucas! Oh yeah, speaking of Lucas, Revenge of the Sith is a much better book than movie. Just saying.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I actually pre-ordered the hardback and still have it. Although, when I do the Revenge of the Sith review, maybe this month, I have the script written. Depending on how tomorrow goes, I might get the audio and video done. Just have to see. I don't actually know where that book is. It's in a box somewhere. I'm literally just going to hold up my tablet with the book cover on it. That's the best you're going to get.
Yes, that's perfectly fine because you know you got it, and if you got an ebook version of it, chances are still pretty good you've got a hardback version of it.
Indeed. Let's check the chat. 3 sleepaway camps. Never watched, but really want to. I have a bio fascination now with Last Jedi. Colonial Marines or Duke Nukem Forever. Duke Nukem Forever, hands down. At least Colonial Marines had gameplay. Star Wars fans today are battered housewives. Hellraiser. Hellraiser. Not even Hellraiser 1 was that good. I'm just going to come out and say it. I actually rewatched that last year. It wasn't very good. I mean, it was okay, but it's not particularly scary. Some of the effects are real dodgy. Like, you can definitely see their budget was like $1.
Yeah, their budget was go to Party City.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie, but you can't expect much from a movie made on a budget of, hey, I know this guy who has a house, and we can film in it.
But, great.
We'll pay you in beer.
My favorite Cenobite is Chatter.
Yeah, they glued a bunch of crap on somebody's face, but it's like they paid him in beer, and not even good beer. Most of you won't get this reference, but Keystone Light is like the cheapest beer you can get, at least here. The only reason I know that is from when I worked at a grocery store.
Well, not all cheap beer is bad. Like, there's Steel Reserve. That's pretty damn cheap, but as beers go, it's not bad.
Huh.
Oh, the one he was bringing up, Lotz Revelations, is literally one that was made with like a $5 budget.
Oh.
And like,
yeah,
they couldn't even get the original
terrible.
actor back, and like, it looks like Pinhead put on like 50 pounds.
Pinhead went to Colonel Sanders.
There's only one I can think that's worse, and that's Hellraiser Deader.
I vaguely remember it. That was a cult of whatever.
It wasn't even supposed to be a Hellraiser movie. They just basically turned it into one. It's like, we're completely out of ideas. What do we do? I know, the Hellraiser license is cheap. Sweet.
I personally think the first two are the best, and I watched the first 8 one time. That was enough.
The only franchise that was good past the first movie, horror franchise, was good past the first movie was Trimmers, and somehow that thing is great. I don't know why. I don't know.
Oh,
how
what about
They
Nightmare on Elm
realized
Street?
that okay, we can't take this too seriously. We got to have it, you know. We can't turn this into a horror movie. We have to turn this into something which is absolutely enjoyable on every level, and so they did.
And one of these days, I need to get me a Burt Gummer shirt.
And Tech, you do need to watch Apocalypse Now. It is not a feel-good movie at all, but it is almost mandatory watching because it's... You're gonna feel like shit after watching it. Gonna be honest, can't pull any punches. You're gonna feel like absolute defecation after watching it, but that's the point.
Now, for me, the movie I watched, I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen a film similar to that. And that's Stalingrad from the 90s German film. Holy crap!
Yeah, it's Apocalypse Now isn't that bad, but it's pretty bad. You're not gonna feel good after watching it. You line up some good Chinese food or whatever you really enjoy for afterwards, because you're gonna need it.
And then don't watch Stalingrad after, because you'll probably want to get wasted. I was gonna say kill yourself, but then I'm not that edgy.
No. If you're gonna watch Stalingrad immediately after Apocalypse Now, my first advice is: number one, find the nearest arcade and make sure you have about at least $20 in pocket because you need something to cheer you up now.
Yeah. Because holy crap, Stalingrad. Don't get that confused with the Russian film from 2013, which is basically 300 but Stalingrad. It's actually not, that film's not that bad, but you basically have Russians like just taking out whole like squads with a shovel. I'm not really sure that's historically true. But then again, you never know. Mash R to reload weapons faster, huh? So BJ has mastered the tactical reload. Okay, come on, there we go. Oh crap, they're gonna see, you know, this is why you need a windshield.
And Hellworld is very, very bad, but Debtor is worse because its ending is insulting.
Oh crap, shit.
I just remember it had what's her face in it. You know, the one that the chick that replaced the professor on Sliders.
Oh yeah, she is put to waste in that movie. She is wasted on it.
I imagine that thing was just a feature film.
That was back when they filmed most movies in Bulgaria, and now they're filming them all in South Africa.
Oh,
That's going to
true.
change very soon.
Unfortunately. Come on, cut him up! Cut him up! Shit. After I finish this game, I will, of course, live stream.
Live shit, gross.
You know that's probably a
Live
thing.
shitting, you know? Yeah, that adult streams, give them time, they'll make it a thing. Big amongst the German crowds.
Oh dear. The Germans! Let's see, Apocalypse Now, Ridley, Wizard of Oz. Yeah, Wizard of Oz wasn't bad. Eventually I need to watch that Twisted Land of Oz movie from like the
Wizard of
80s.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz too.
Oz.
Yeah.
Return to Oz, yeah.
Oh, Return to Oz. Okay, but what is Twisted Land of Oz? Oh, I think that's a game, right?
Not one I've heard of, but eh.
Oh, that's a bunch of statues. I remember now. Okay. Yeah, they like made a bunch of weird ass statues with like Dorothy and bondage gear. Now I remember.
Whoa. Anyway.
No, that's a thing. I'm not even joking. That is a thing. Look it up. Look up Twisted
Yeah.
Land of Oz.
Although I have seen weirder. I'm not going to mention it in stream because you can find it out.
Oh dear. I was gonna say it's Alice in Wonderland and Alice in Bondage Land, but then I think like Alice is underage or something, so that'd be kind of a problem.
Let's just say she's aged up.
Oh, okay.
Huh, thank God.
So it's not quite as horrible.
No, but it's definitely NSFW, and yeah.
One thing that's kind of weird about Wizard of Oz is I read something that like the shoes originally were supposed to be silver, and they got changed to rubies for some reason. I don't think you can really move around in silver slippers. Rubies is pushing it. So like, I could buy the horribly gaudy ruby slippers, but silver, they're like way too much.
Yeah, if they were actually genuine ruby, it would be absolutely horrible because it'd shatter it. Well, it'd be the John McClane experience all over again.
Yeah, Return to Oz was good.
Return to Oz is weird, and I doubt Disney is ever going to fully release it on Blu-ray again.
Because
It'd be funny as hell to see them remake it like they did Mary Poppins.
I doubt it. It was a box office failure.
No, I know. And it's Disney. They're completely out of creativity to make anything. So of course they're not going to work on something which was rather creative and unfortunately bombed.
Well, everybody wanted it closer to the original, like, you know, even though it's based off 3 or 4 of the other books. Yeah.
I never really liked Mary Poppins to begin with, so I didn't really care.
Yeah, Sherry Bobbins is better.
I never really liked that really kid stuff as a kid. So yeah, I was one of those kids, you know. It's like I only really liked, you know, the stuff that wasn't like really for kids. I guess is the best way to put it. Like
You probably like Return to Oz then. The movie's dark as hell.
Yeah.
But I like, you know, it's more. I guess it's not really fantasy, but I don't even know what you'd classify that, because it wouldn't be fantasy, because it's not like elves and dwarves and crap like that.
Well, there's different types of fantasy. Like what you're referring to is like you have full-on elves and all that. That's high fantasy.
Do you like Neverending Story?
That does not look like something I'd like either. You gotta remember.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
It's actually pretty good. No, stick only with the first film. The rest of them are skippable.
I find that
Especially the third.
I've seen reviews on that one where they got the claymation guy singing some random song. Let's see. American McGee's Alice. You know, I need to play that at some point.
I don't know if the sequel still contains the original game. It used to be if you bought the limited edition version of the original, you get the sequel, you get the original. I don't know if that's still true.
So, wait, Lotz, have you seen Dragon Slayer?
You know, I actually have that, but I have not actually watched. Crap. Stop shooting at me. Yeah, I'm gonna die because I'm just sucking now. Yep, there we go. Glass Slippers and Cinderella. You know, all those classic Disney films, I just really don't like. You know,
That's because they're bastardized versions of children's tales.
Even
the original children's tales were dark.
Yeah, I have heard that, but it's like even then, that's not my kind of story, you know.
Well, you can always watch Snow White: A Tale of Terror, where Sigourney Weaver plays the evil witch.
Yep. When was that made?
Late 90s.
Okay, so it had to have been made then.
It's the only time you could get away with it.
Then you got Snow White and the middle-aged horny housewife. Because that's one of those middle-aged horny housewife movies, along with 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight.
Well, the original Snow White was a little bit more R to the A to the P to the E.
So, which for some reason middle-aged horny housewives are fascinated by for some reason.
Oh, yeah, and there's so many things I can say against that when it comes to 50 Shades. That is not representative at all of what that community once was. I say once was because it ain't anymore, and hell, Robert Mapplethorpe, yes, that Robert Mapplethorpe would be spinning in his grave like a top.
Flowers of Robert Mapplethorpe on CDI. Oh wait, that must be a really. That must not be the kind of game I'm thinking of if that's the case.
No, it is just Flowers, but Robert Mapplethorpe was big into the BDSM scene.
Now that's not something you would expect. So, the Flowers of Robert Mapplethorpe, the hardcore edition.
No, Sam Neill's also in that Snow White movie.
Well, also understand that Robert Mapplethorpe also really kind of made fun of a few religious people as well as several politicians by taking photos of his genitalia next to firearms.
Okay. That's random. Will I ever stream Postal 2? Maybe. There's so many games I want to stream other than that, so it's kind of back at the back burner. Because, well, I like Postal 2, that's just not really my kind of game most of the time. And there's a lot of games that are my kind of game that I'd rather stream. Any PBS characters whose skin is purple as a potential... Oh, God. Glad I didn't say that. What knockoff film turned out actually to be good? You know, I know of several, but I can't think of any at the moment. I really like that AVP knockoff from the late 90s. I like that one. I can't remember what it's called.
You know what? If I could get enough money, I could make I would gladly shoot a Teletubby horror movie. Because I've got enough locations where I can make it, you know, grim and gritty as you'd like, but make a Saw movie look clean.
Oh, my.
That Expendables knockoff, Mercenaries, is pretty good. It was alright.
I still need to see that. There's a lot of movies that I have not seen that I probably should at some point.
It's like, what's the criteria for being a knockoff exactly? Have to be based off of Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Well, really, it just has to be based off a concept which is proven to be successful, but now somebody wants their slice of the pie.
So I could just go on for an hour about zombie movies I really like.
Almost. I would recommend against it because it's almost too easy, but
Right.
The zombies. Let's see. Yeah, I am going to review those horrible Star Wars movies in 2020, though. I will finally get around to it. I'm planning for 2020 just because 2019, I'm going to be too busy with the job, so I can't really do as much as I'd like. So I'm like planning for that. And yes, I will finally do Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Solo, and Rogue One. I don't want to, but I will.
I would say you've been warned, my friend.
Oh, why must my phone keep going off?
As for ultimate knockoff film, Korko Suits or Turkish Rambo, that's pretty jank.
It looked pretty bad.
And Epic Jason, Terminator versus RoboCop, or RoboCop versus Terminator. The comic is actually all right, but it was made in the 90s, so you can't really call it an 80s film. It could have been done, but it would have been in the 90s.
And Nega, you don't want to shoot yourself in the dick. That would be very painful. Unless you're a chick.
Whoa. Of course, it's more of a fan film, but still, go on YouTube and watch Commando Ninja. Like
Ninja
an
Commando,
amalgamation.
yeah.
It's like an amalgamation of everything from like the 80s.
Yeah,
it's got your Terminator, your Predator, Raptors,
Oh,
It's
and,
pretty out
Commandos, ninjas. Great.
oh, there is an Indian Terminator.
Yeah, which is actually quite hilarious. It's worth a watch. And not all Bollywood movies are jank. The romantic comedies are a crap ton better than anything that's been put out in the U.S. for the last 20 years. They're actually watchable. They're not chick flicks.
Oh yeah, apparently Netflix wants to ban that term somehow.
Nope. They can. The feminists want to ban the term bossy. To that I say, nope. You can pretend it's banned all you want, but sorry, nope.
Yeah.
Reality cares not for feelings.
On it. Blow up. Yo, him up. Yo, it all up.
Hey, I have Star Crash on DVD.
Can Demolition Man please stop becoming reality?
Yeah, I know, right?
At least it's not Taco Bell. Although here's
I can live with that.
Oh, if that's the only restaurant that's left, I'm checking out, guys. That's it. That's an insult to me as a cook. I'm checking clean out.
Well, here's the best question. What is the absolute worst fast food? Like, when you think of horror...
Wendy's.
McDonald's.
Really? I thought they're terrible, yeah, but, like, they're the absolute worst. I would have thought, like, Wendy's would be worse.
Yeah, I think I'd say Wendy's. I've never been impressed by their burgers.
I'm gonna have to go with McDonald's.
I
Everything
haven't,
I've had there tastes like freaking cardboard.
I haven't had a McDonald's in I don't even know how long.
It's been 10 years for me, simply because I got that unimpressed. I just said, nope, never again.
And yes, I have seen some stuff from Red Letter Media. I watched their Star Wars prequel things, and they were quite good. And turned me, well, not really.
And Shy Boy, it's not a dying breed. It's what we call a self-correcting problem.
Indeed, because they do not procreate. Oh, feminists. You know, I haven't actually ever seen a feminist in real life, though, to be perfectly honest.
You lucky sod.
It's like I've never seen one. All the chicks I've talked to have never acted. Well, I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't go around, I'm not around that many people. It's just, I've never actually talked to a feminist.
And I'll pray that you never clap eyes on one, because that's something I don't wish on anyone, ever.
Because, damn. I mean, feminism used to be different from what it is today, as far as I know. But...
No. It was just more low-key because there was less insane people.
No, but is feminism tied to the women's lib thing, or is that a different thing entirely?
Feminism was used women's lib, but feminism has always been socialism with a different name.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What are you searching for?
Storage reviews for those things. Stop shooting me in the back. That's not fair.
What decipher? I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about knockoff movies. Like, what deciphers something being a knockoff and something being a tribute?
No. You can count it if you want to, but personally, I would say no.
Actually,
No, I was asking different. Exactly.
Tributes are often pretty obvious, and they'll do so very on the nose.
crap.
So I guess being more of a knockoff would be making a movie called Dinosaur Park versus making a movie called something else just still being about dinosaurs.
Well, no, like in that case, if we're going by that, I would say Carnosaur is the pseudo knockoff of, Jurassic Park.
And I thought of a knockoff movie, but then I promptly forgot it. Oh no, I had it too. It was actually a good one. Oh crap. Well, I remember the other one I wanted to mention, and that's the Russian Commando. Oh, that's the one. It just came to mind. Okay, the Neil Connery James Bond movie. That's a knockoff. That's actually pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because, yeah, for those who don't know, Neil Connery, Sean Connery's brother, did make... Well, he didn't make it, but he starred in...
Yeah.
I think it was called, like, Operation Double 007 or something like that. It was, like, from the 70s. And it had... and it was his brother.
Like True Lies, that would be a tribute to by a movie, not necessarily a James Bond knockoff.
Well, it is a tribute, but it's also a thing unto itself. It tries to be original while still paying homage to the original source material. So yeah, I wouldn't count it as a knockoff. I would count it as its own thing, and worth watching because it's actually a pretty fun movie.
It sadly doesn't have a Blu-ray version because, of course, it doesn't.
Well, that's okay because the Laserdisc version, and especially the Laserdisc version of Eraser, every version of it will suffer from disc rot and die.
No.
See, I thought of something else, but I forgot it. No, ma'am. Oh yeah, Al Bundy. Hey, I talk to women, just not on a massive occasion. But hey, that doesn't count. Avoid. That's one way to avoid emancipation. Oh. Is there any language where the word grenade doesn't sound like grenade?
Korean.
Oh. I do not know what it sounds like in Korean.
If I'm right, it's knock the chop.
It takes all that just to say grenade. By the time you finish it, you've already been blown up.
Well, that's saying grenade out.
Oh, okay. Damn, Koreans always winning at StarCraft. Never mind.
Clearly the best knockoff is Mac and Me. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa! Oh, that hurt my soul.
Oh, it is kind of hilarious.
I have never seen it. I thought the ripoff of what the fuck the name of
You
that
don't
alien in ET is.
I was gonna say, you don't even like E.T.
Yeah, I did not like ET as a kid, and I still don't.
Therefore, you should watch Mac and Me instead.
Okay, I saw E.T. when it came out to theaters. Part of me liked it, but remember, I was young.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I haven't.
This is before the Spielberg, hey, let's replace shotguns with walkie-talkies incident.
Well, for the Blu-ray, listen to the audience. Alright, theatrical version.
I've seen the 1980 Outland. I have seen it on TV many years ago. I need to watch that again. There's also another film. I can't remember the name, but I have it. I think it has like Kirk Douglas in it, where they're like on the moon to Saturn, and it's like this killer robot. I remember seeing that on TV once, and I thought it was actually halfway decent. There's just so many movies, so little time.
It's very true.
It's like, oh yeah, I already mentioned Overlord being actually pretty good, despite being a JJ produced film.
Nah.
In that instance, I'm the more forgiving one. Usually, I'm the mostly extremely cynical one.
Oh, there's times when I have my really cynical moments, and, well, Jar Jar is one of them. Mainly because, remember, I'm more of a classic cinema guy, and more of an, you know,
Shit!
more of the avant-garde, not the, everything must have lens flares, everything must be a visual, you know, spectacle sort of thing.
Remember Titan AE?
Yeah,
Very
I
few
do.
people do.
I think that gotta keep being like a Star Wars-esque movie. No, it's not.
I honestly thought that was more of a rip-off of Independence Day. Honestly.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people love to hate on Independence Day. That is a very entertaining movie. I mean, come on.
That was a popcorn movie through and through.
Yeah.
I love it.
The
It's
sequel was
fun.
terrible, but the original was, yeah, grab you some popcorn and enjoy it.
Well,
Not every piece of cinema has to be, you know, super deep. I'm not asking for the seventh seal out of everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you like the sequel lots, but I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
really care for
I did. What was
Independence
wrong
Day.
with the sequel? You know?
They waited too
Independence Day?
long. Yeah.
My complaints, Mary Sue-isms, and they killed off a plot critical character without giving, you know, due respect.
I thought just because, you know, Will Smith, he didn't want to upset Lord Zeno or something.
Yeah. Will Smith is not a Scientologist.
I thought he was.
No.
Are you sure?
If anything, he picked Suicide Squad over Independence Day 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
that
probably
a, great movie.
a better. Despite probably
It made
a
it
better
more
choice
money.
than-
Oh.
It's not a good movie at all, but it made him more money, so I'm not gonna fault him.
Okay, fine. I still liked it.
You can like it.
Yeah, there's no. I'm not gonna say, oh, you're an awful person for that. I'm not an SJW. I'm not gonna go that way.
Rain, can you believe it? Not kidding.
Let's see.
Though I will say you are a bad person if you don't like, you know, Akira Kurosawa's Ran or Rashomon.
Which I still haven't seen.
I'm being facetious. Not everybody has seen it. Go watch it if you can. If you can't, I can understand.
Independence Day
I guess I
2,
do
you
collect
all
stuff.
stick to classier movies like Maximum Overdrive.
Hey man, best AC/DC soundtrack ever.
Hey, yeah, I guess you could say Independence Day is a rip-off of World of Worlds, isn't it?
It is, but it's more of an aviation-focused War of the Worlds. I will give it to you that it is a rip-off of War of the Worlds. So yeah, I'll count it as
Well-
the knockoff film category.
We were comparing Spielberg's War of the Worlds to Independence Day. I'm gonna watch Independence Day.
I can't blame you because, for me, my favorite version of War of the Worlds is either the audio
the
drama
classic one.
or the 1950s, you know, classic. It's
Yeah, that 50s version is still one of my favorite movies to this day. I think one
Did
of
you know
the...
they?
No, go on.
Did you know they made a War of the Worlds TV series?
Yeah, I was aware of that.
And it traumatized me as a child
Really?
because they'd had the alien hands burst out of the people's body, and I was probably like 5 at the time.
Oh, yeah, that would be kind of creepy. I didn't really like Mars Attacks. That was more... I'm not a big fan of dark comedy, so I just didn't really enjoy it as much as you would expect. Didn't know about a firewall. That's one of those things where you just kind of gotta let it go so you can enjoy the fact that the humans use, you know, a fucking virus from a MacBook. You know. I used to love... I really did like the flying scenes for Independence Day. It's like Eagle 1, Fox 2.
Yeah, it's not like Hollywood ever gets computer concepts right. Sometimes, most.
And Mega Scott, Hagakure is actually quite good, but remember, it's one word. It means hidden beneath the leaves. It's a treatise on samurai honor.
And damn it, Jeff Goldblum can sell giving a Mac virus to aliens because, you know, Goldblum.
Yeah. Something about Disney SW. I would actually say the dumbest thing from the EU was Abeloth. That's when Star Wars stopped being Star Wars and became Diet 40K. Abeloth is a Diet Chaos God, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but it kind of became Diet 40K really with the Vong. The Vong pretty much are their version of Tyranids.
Yeah.
Hey, Jacques.
Now, okay, in all reality, wouldn't it be easy enough just to drop a nuke on that thing and kill it? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just eat her already. Don't eat her out, just eat her. Okay.
Now, if it goes the other direction, that's something that's going to definitely need to be taken off the stream.
Yeah, something more for Hentai Foundry.
Aber warum hat König Otto dein schönes Gesicht vor der Welt versteckt? Egal.
And... yeah. Primary, there's just too much fat in that meat, just saying. And he's just gonna be stringy.
And I remember they also made it. Alien Nation, which also was a movie and a TV series.
It was actually an interesting TV series.
I gotta rewatch the movie because I haven't seen it. Oh my, forever.
Oh yeah, this has like, I remember this had like some kind of puzzle, but I don't remember how to do it. You had to like do something somewhere. So that's the problem. Oh yeah, we're at the end of the game, by the way. Crap. Because this game, this is like a real game in that it doesn't actually tell you what you need to do to kill this guy. Because I remember when I first played it, I was like shooting him again and again, and it was doing nothing. Did I shoot his mouth, maybe? I just don't remember.
If you got grenades, I would try the mouth.
It seems like it actually hit him. Oh yeah, that reminds me of another fanfic I did. I did a lot of fanfics as a kid. And I'll tell you why, because it allowed me to feel... it made me feel happy to go on ego trips. So one of my ego trips
Help it.
was a Resident Evil thing, where somehow I was able to shoot a SKS grenade into the Nemesis' mouth and blow it up. Yes, that was the thing. I don't think that's possible, and I don't think I have the aiming skills necessary to do that, but hey. I liked my ego trips. If I still had access to all of those...
Yeah, rifle grenades aren't that hard to use. I mean, the hardest part is remember, load blank, not actual round, unless the grenade is designed for catching said round.
Yes, that would be bad. Although I don't think I could do that at age... I don't remember what age I was when I wrote that. And I do not remember how to kill this guy. Maybe I just shoot him? just don't remember. The Uber Fibonacci. You shoot it with the fax. Really? That doesn't help me. Unless the fax is 12-gauge shotgun to the face.
Hey, some people choose different forms of fact delivery systems. This one's just faster.
You know, BJ, you kind of ruin the resale value of the shotgun by, cutting it. Like, in the future, like, the Wolfenstein version of Ian, assuming he actually exists, is going to be very mad at you.
Well, it's a hunting shotgun, so presumably there's quite a few of them.
Although it might actually be worth more since it did belong to the legendary. Oh, he's gonna kill me. Yep, he did. Legendary BJ Blazkowicz. Although that does make you wonder, though. Does Ian McCollum and Carl exist in the Wolfenstein universe, or would the genealogy be so messed up that they don't?
Hard to tell. I mean, we know McCollum's background.
Just what if their great grandparents were killed by the super Nazis?
I don't know. Given Ian's background in terms of family, I think his parents might be a little too tough for the Uber Nazis to fully take down.
And I think Carl's family is from Norway, so maybe they'd make it out. Maybe? I do not know. Hey, sometimes you don't shoot the glowing part. Shotgun in the face is better than having a random UAC janitor clean. Hey, that actually is a game. I don't know what...
Just for cleanup detail.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, great knockoff! I'd suggest actually, now that I think about it, with Asylum Sherlock Holmes.
Ooh, that actually is a good choice.
Yeah, 'cause it's got Dominic Keating in it. Yes, I know the guy's name from Star Trek Enterprise, the most underused character on the show.
Yep.
And also, literally, villain uses an Iron Man suit. There's robotic dinosaur in it. It's insane.
It actually reminds me of a anime. No, it's not anime. It's a Korean animation thing. So whatever that one is, of Steampunk World of Worlds, but they actually have mech suits.
I don't know the Korean word for animation, though I know their version of manga translates to manhwa.
Manhwa.
And if I'm mentioning Asylum stuff, I guess I might as well mention Abe Lincoln versus zombies.
It's like Abe Lincoln versus Vampire. Abe Lincoln versus Vampire Hunters. That was.
I have Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter on my bookshelf.
But I mean, where else are you gonna have Abe Lincoln go up to a zombie and be like, "Emancipate this"? I mean, sure, his beard looks like it's glued on, but
Limited budget.
At least they had fun.
Yeah, it's limited budget that embraces the cheese.
Shit, stop. I like how BJ can just take getting stamped on by that thing. Now, if only BJ had his robot suit, maybe that would help things just a little bit.
That would help considerably. Well, up until it came to time to dodge a hit, in which case, then it would be hell.
Yeah, he needs a Jaeger, a real one. There's actually an interesting fan explanation of how those even work. Basically, golems. It uses magic to be able to move around, which is a good explanation as anything.
Yeah, because the tech level really couldn't support it. I mean, the Nazi regime, I can buy, buying into electrosoldat technology and all sorts of weirdness like that. But them creating artificial muscle, that's a little far.
Where can you get the NSKS? I'm not really even sure.
These days, local gun shops are the only real place to get them because they're not being imported anymore.
Which really, really, really sucks. And do I care about the next generation of consoles? Not really. I am going to get me a piss core just so I can play Bloodborne, but...
Well, one should care about the games, not the power behind
Exactly.
it.
There's... Until the until Sony or Microsoft start offering games, why should I care about the hardware?
Crap.
I've got a PC, And worst comes to worst, if I find myself an okay job, I can build, PCs. And they don't, here's the thing about PCs. They didn't have to be super powerful. We have access to literally hundreds of thousands of games. There are more games than one human being can play through, period.
That's a lot of games.
So I was looking up knockoffs and telling me to IMDb list called Terminator ripoffs, though most of them are just random robot movies. But there's one called Shadow Chaser. It's literally Die Hard and Terminator. Terrorists with an indestructible robot take over a high-rise hospital in order to kidnap the president's daughter.
Why are they always want to
That
get
sounds like a video game.
Yeah. SS Doom Trooper was also a good film. I mean, it was basically
Well-
Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the movie. Mixed
What
kind
were
of
you gonna say, Lotz?
I have no idea. Oh crap, I just got smacked up.
You said, why do they always, and then that was it.
Oh, gotta kidnap the president's daughter.
My date with the president's daughter.
Oh, is that a song?
I think it's a movie.
Oh,
Probably a Disney movie. Not sure.
fucking Disney.
Meg Foster's in it, so,
Now, for those who don't know who Meg Foster is, she played Evil Lynn in the Conan, not Conan, the one with the guy, Dolph Lundgren,
She was also in They Live.
Masters of the Universe. And, well, Masters of the Universe movie bombed. It actually wasn't that bad.
It was fun.
Yeah.
He-Man and the Masters of the... I don't know.
The Masters of the Grand Marketing Scheme. I have the marketability!
Yeah, you can sell Wonder Bread, too. Everybody knows wheat bread is the superior breads. Okay, I remember this boss being somewhat tough, even when I was actually, awake. Actually, I'm starting to hurt him. This is still one of those bosses where it'd be nice if I could just quick save and just keep sucking over and over again and finally get lucky. Hey, it's like real life. Oh, crap, fucking...
I love the plot of Lady Terminator. The spirit of an ancient evil queen possesses the body of a young anthropological student. There you go. Goes on a murder rampage.
Anthropology.
There you go.
It's a very tough word to say quickly.
I have no idea about PCIe 5.0. I know nothing about that. And yeah, Nicolas Cage is good if you can accept cheesiness, which I can.
When he's in the right movie, he's really good. But when he's not, well, then he's terrible.
Yeah, it has to be a movie that does not take itself seriously, like Face Off.
Face off.
Ready for the big ride, baby?
Man, I love Face Off. Fucking John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Oh my god, they were so hamming over the top, and it was just beautiful.
That's what I say, in a movie like that where you can just go nuts, it's perfect. Oh god, not the beast!
Oh, yeah, not the beast. So wait, is that a comedy or a horror movie? I can't tell.
Originally it was a horror movie, but the remake I'd class as comedy. I mean, Nicolas Cage in a bear suit, punching a woman clean the f out.
Grenade. Granata.
Plus, Face Off has a brief cameo by Joe Bob Briggs as the executioner.
And then there's the other line that just if you're not. I remember watching that on TV once, half asleep.
Beach. I can eat for hours.
Yeah, that line actually.
Yeah.
If you're half asleep and you watch, it's like, what the fuck is this? Wobble them up.
Well, it's the only time you're gonna see our favorite individual as a priest going nuts and grabbing a choir girl's butt.
Oh.
Well, shit, I think I'm gonna watch Face Off this weekend.
You know I can't do that.
And tech, you're not gonna find the original Galil unless it's secondhand. You will find the Galil Ace though, but you're gonna pay through the nose for it.
Yeah, the original Galil, the cool one, the one that you want, would be like not tens of thousands, but several thousand.
That's gonna be $2,000.
And there's so many better things to pick. Like, god damn it!
Yeah, at that point, just grab yourself a PTR 91 and a good scope and enjoy it because it's more reliable, it's easier on your shoulder, it's lighter, it's objectively a better weapon system.
Oh, Lotz, did you ever see Universal?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Terminator 2. There you go. But with I actually thought the chick in that was pretty hot, but apparently in the sequel she dies of cancer or something.
It's just sequel and watch Regeneration, which you know the second one.
That is a
It was actually really good too.
Okay, I don't know how long.
But yeah, Dolph Lundgren in that movie, man, shoot the scenery, but he was so good in the first movie.
Lend me your ears.
Yeah, lend me your ear, soldier. Traitor.
Okay, I don't
It's
know.
empty. It's empty.
And yes, Epic Jason. Nicolas Cage running around screaming, "I'm a vampire!" It's classic.
Oh,
No, wait, what movie was that?
Vampire's Kiss.
Okay, I guess
it's
I've never
a movie where he's essentially insane and believes he's a vampire.
It's like Ghost Rider, only with less motorcycles.
And tech, nobody's going to make a clone of the Galil because from a manufacturing standpoint, while it was cheap for Israel to produce, it was only cheap to produce them because they had the machines on hand. These days, it's actually more expensive to produce than it is an AR-10.
Yeah, if you want a good 7.62, yeah, you get that PTR.
You go PTR, you can go with Aero Precision's AR-10. It's actually quite good. You can roll your own. The best bang for the buck if you're going for precision semi-auto 7.62 by 5.1 is actually from LaRue, their ultimate upper and discount lower option.
But
Yeah, man. Oh, sorry. I was gonna go back to Nicolas Cage. Like, yeah, we could
Let's go back to Nicolas Cage, dude.
You got like Con Air. Leaving Las Vegas is really good. Essentially, though, he just plays an alcoholic. It's drinking himself to death, but hey.
so he plays himself then.
Oh yeah, because recently he got married to like his girlfriend, and then he like divorced her the day after.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
the least Nicolas Cage movie, which is still a Nicolas Cage movie, would be Matchstick Men.
I thought the Bad Lieutenant remake with him was pretty good.
I'm gonna die again. If I die 3 more times, I'm just gonna call it and say the stream is done. Alright. 3 more times after this, because I remember this boss annoyed me, even when I wasn't half awake.
I kind of wish they'd make National Treasure 3.
How many times is he gonna lose all his money and get it back again? That's just...
What? No, these are the Indiana Jones like inspired movies.
I know, but he lost all his money in the second one. And then, like... Because I remember this boss annoyed me because the arena's not big enough, and, like, you can't circle strafe. And I'm tired, and, like... come with other...
Raising Arizona is a classic.
Yes, Raising Arizona is awesome. That was my mom's favorite movie.
I've never actually seen it. FNFL... Yeah. I considered buying some of those things, but, eh. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you're gonna get one of those, make sure you actually have a reason to get it, though. Because if you're just gonna get it to get it, you need to make sure you have a range big enough to actually be able to appreciate it, though. The max I have is 100 euros, so it's like, there's literally no point for me to even get it.
Okay, all these days I need to kidnap you and take you over Trinity Tactical.
I remember 8mm being messed up, but I haven't seen that movie in years.
Yes, it's very messed up. It's actually probably the most serious Nicolas Cage movie there is.
I know nothing about it, nor have I even heard of it. Okay, I think if I actually play the video game intelligently, I might be able to kill it.
The Rock also.
MP40 versus Thompson. I know it makes me a traitor, but I'm going to go with MP40 because it's actually sensible, sane, and easy to manufacture compared to the Thompson.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, in that Highwayman movie, buys himself a Colt monitor and a BAR.
Well, damn, he's loaded for bear.
Evidently, the Texas Ranger guy actually did that in real life. Because he was
Well, yeah,
wealthy.
because well, it's not just that; it's the fact that they almost exclusively use bars to take down Bonnie and Clyde.
It's like, well, they were an epic level boss.
Well, they needed something to punch through the car, because remember, cars back then were not made of fiberglass or plastic.
Crap. Need more grenades.
I heard that Mom and Dad movie he did was pretty. Basically, like all the parents are going insane, and well, of course, Nicolas Cage, he cages it up and tries to kill his kids. There.
Yeah, that movie sounds more like it would annoy me more than anything else.
Stop it, Cage! Why you gotta be doing that?
And beat him up. Alright, so I haven't died yet. I still got a decent amount of health because I'm actually paying attention. But I haven't actually landed this.
I didn't bother with that one medieval movie he did where he was on Pearlman. Of it.
Yeah, I'm sure that movie was super historically accurate. Because there's a lot of medieval knights from California, as we.
It was called Season of the Witch.
Oh, Season of the Witch. Wait a minute.
No, nothing to do with that movie.
Wait, oh, come on! See, this boss just is so annoying to me. It's like he takes a lot of damage, and they spawn these guys.
Or not going to use the Donovan song.
Which reminds me, didn't Vin Diesel also like do a movie where he's a witch hunter?
Yeah, it's literally called Witch Hunter. How about 2 seconds of saying fuck it? Because this boss annoyed me back when I played it the first time. And it's annoying me now for the same reasons. The arena's too small, your attacks are too weak. The Nazis just make it more annoying.
I thought Hansel and Gretel, the witch hunter thing, was fun.
Actually, I'm surprised that Vin Diesel hasn't actually published any campaigns for D&D, knowing he used to play it quite a bit.
Kick-Ass was pretty good. The new Hellboy sucked. I'm not surprised.
Just watch the original Hellboys and maybe the Golden Army and read the original comics.
I heard some people liked it, so I don't know.
I did not. But I was also a big Hellboy fan from the comics, so.
Did it hit his mouth?
Caveat emptor.
Hellboy was always okay, but he never struck me as being particularly powerful, even in the movie, so.
Well, no, he's not that powerful. He can be, but for the most part, no. There's only certain circumstances where he can be powerful.
Like how BJ has a third arm that he can just throw a grenade with. You see, it's really hard to. One of the big problems with bosses in something like this is it's really hard to dodge the attack. At least it is for me. You know, in a third-person shooter, you actually have much more spatial awareness. You can move around a little bit better.
Oh, back to Universal Soldier real quick. Did you know that after the first movie, they actually made 2 Canadian direct cable sequels?
Yep, and they were not that hot.
And then, then they retconned it with The Return, which was also a bit too easy over the top. And then about a decade-ish later, they made a Regeneration and a Day of Reckoning, which retconned those as well.
So just watch the first movie and count the rest as.
I'd highly recommend Regeneration and Day of Reckoning. In fact, Day of Reckoning I thought it was an excellent sci-fi horror film. Really good action scenes.
See, when I first tried to play this on a non-Soldier of Fortune related note, I actually got to the boss fight, and you know, I didn't finished the game for about 6 months because it annoyed me so much. I know this isn't a hard boss compared to classic games, but since this uses that horrific checkpoint system, I hate having to start at the beginning again. You know, with classic games, you can just, you know, immediately load up after you died, and this is like, I gotta go all the way back to the beginning, and it's just, what can I say? I have more patience than I did for some things, but less patience for others.
As for Universal Soldier, the pseudo-sequel that was done early 2000s, which got retconned, I like to refer to that as Bill Goldberg doing his best Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, it was kind of over the top and fun. Ugh. Van Damme, simmer down.
They live. I saw that in theaters, actually. Not when it came out, because I wasn't even born yet. How many times have I
They Live has one of the best fight scenes.
Got the best fight scene. What happens when you get Rowdy Piper and
Over fucking sunglasses.
yeah.
Ugh.
Of course, Rowdy Piper, the name, has kind of been ruined for me just because of The Simpsons. Rowdy Piper.
Oh god.
I have been, currently am, and always will be a fan of Piper, because he was a damn good guy.
So it's one of the saddest movies I've ever seen, non-war film, has got to be The Wrestler.
Yeah.
I know nothing about professional wrestling, but
And-
goddamn, that movie was depressing.
I gotta say, Santro 4 did an excellent tribute to They Live. And having, you know, Roddy Piper playable character. Not to mention Keith David also being in it.
Literally as himself.
Yeah. Well, that entire fight scene is basically just Piper and Keith David saying, okay, let's write a fight scene. And so they did.
I need to watch Prince of Darkness.
Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Go watch it.
I planned on watching Roadhouse this weekend. But I'll add to the list.
Shit.
You know, sometimes you're gonna have it where you make a list of things you need to watch, but you just never, for some reason. Damn it.
I put it by your TV. I have the list, because both those movies are worth watching.
It took me forever to finally watch In the Mouth of Madness.
I know, it's like I watched that before you somehow.
I know, you were bringing it up, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Oh, okay, movie was pretty amazing. I don't know how I missed it.
People keep saying they need to make a Cthulhu film, and pretty much In the Mouth of Madness is that Cthulhu film.
Oh yeah,
That's
I think
what-
she like landed over here.
It's that and so much more.
Oh, there she is.
It's like, so when did Carpenter start to fall from grace?
Actually, it wasn't In the Mouth of Madness. It was later on.
No. Probably Ghost of Mars. Or Vampires, maybe.
Vampires was pretty horrible. I mean, Vampires was not very good.
No, not at all.
You never were in control.
Well, I know you'd probably say Escape from LA.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh man, Escape from LA. That's got to be one of the worst.
I can... That's a guilty pleasure.
How? It's so poorly done in every conceivable way. What is that triangular optic you see on a G36?
The carry handle optic.
Before that, he did a remake of Village of the Damned.
Village of the Darned, the PG version.
Got Christopher Reeves and Chris Allen.
Poor Christopher Reeves.
And no, the carry handle optic, you can't really get a one that's compatible with the Picatinny rail.
You know, there's an episode of Tales from the Crypt where Christopher Reeves got to play an opposite of what he usually plays. A person who decides to serve people in his restaurant.
To serve man.
It's a cookbook!
I'm sure he thought it was, you know, fun to play something different than the usual what he
Yeah.
gets typecast is. Ugh.
Christopher Reeve was actually a pretty good actor.
It could be.
The Superman story was interesting. The fact that they wanted to make part 1 a part 2 movie, but it didn't pan out, and eventually they were able to release the Donner Superman 2.
1982,
That part is-
yeah, I can say that.
We lost 3 entertainers to the side of a Colorado mountain.
Wait, who?
John Denver, Reeve, and Sonny Bono.
Oh. And as for the thing, I got to see that in real life, actually. At an 80s night, no less. I had a video of it, but I had to take
In
it
real
down.
life. Oh my god.
Oh, okay, I meant the movie, not the real thing.
Oh dear sweet lord.
Well, you know, if I was the thing, I'm a pretty lazy the thing, because I'm not out, like, killing people. I'm just playing games.
Here, so you just went and hit somewhere. That's why we didn't see you in the movie. Yeah, that's
It's the ultimate way to beat the thing. Have it the body of a gamer. It'll never get anything done.
going.
Alright, so that is Return to Castle. Those engines look really stupid. Why would you put the engines on, like, the tip of the wing? That's not even remotely aerodynamic. But anyway,
Wind shear would destroy them.
yeah, why would you need a 6-engine? Whatever. Anyway, that, of course, is, the game. Wolfenstein, The Old Blood. We got 3 episodes out of that, I think. Or was this episode 4? I don't even remember what episode I'm on anymore. So yeah, we've got, Raynick.
Hey.
And we got Rage Kill. And, of course, we got General Lotz. And we're going to wish you good. Wolfenstein to Youngblood. Whatever makes you happy.
Have a good one.